Hey, hello there, Angry Welshman back again. Hope everyone's having a lovely new year and had a lovely Christmas. Hopefully 2021 will be a better year, even though the bar has been set drastically low, so low that it's practically 20 miles under. So there's not, 2021 will have to do very, very badly. There'll have to be some sort of alien invasion, or Yellowstone will have to erupt for this year to be worse. But anyway, so hope everyone's had a good time, keeping safe. I'm going to have a boring January, unfortunately for me, because I've decided to do dry January, because I drink far too much. So I've decided to lay off the beer for at least a month. It's good for me, good for my health, good for my weight, and good for my pocket, to be quite honest with you. Good for my wallet to essentially keep myself nice and healthy and keep some money going. But enough about me. Now, this is I did have another video planned, which was going to be a very, very short one. So short, I think it was going to have 2 videos from the same YouTuber in it. And he was talking about Antarctica and so on and so forth. Then one of the guys I follow on Twitter posted this video. It's a bit older than I thought. I thought it was like brand new, but it's dated December 21st. And you can see like the upvotes, and you can tell by like that's my comments as well. But ignore my ramblings on there. Actually, I'm using those as a timestamp for this video actually, because I was screaming at this video, to be quite honest with you. You stop asking questions, you stop learning. Yeah, but the only trouble is with flat earthers is that flat earthers like to always ignore or disregard the answers to those questions. So no, I'm not having that. Right. And essentially this video shows, and actually I need to point out just before I get into something proper here, is that I'm not doing Level Earth Observer again. I've seen some of his videos. I've looked at like 2 or 3 of his newest videos, and they're just childish crap. He brings nothing to any argument. It's just his arrogance is overflowing, and that's about it. So I'm not touching him with a. Ew, that sounds a bit disgusting. I'm not doing any video of him again. Just end of discussion. The guy's a moron as far as I'm concerned, but not as big as moron as Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole here, who, in my opinion, right, has proven that Flat Earth has nothing new to bring to Flat Earth. Essentially, it has no. He's shown that he has nothing. It's the same old arguments. This video is essentially of him showing a scientist evidence, and he's probably a scientist that has no clue about Flat Earth, to be quite honest with you, who's probably not interested in Flat Earth, and rightly so. I wish I never discovered it. He's not an astronomer or probably a physicist in that sense. They've picked somebody up who's a scientist in a completely different field who can answer his questions. It is interesting that Flat Earthers never choose astronomers or astrophysicists to bring onto their channels. They just find somebody who happens to be a scientist of some sort, right? But this video is essentially him bringing up evidence that he knows damn well has been debunked or are actually completely irrelevant, but he flows with them anyway. You know? He knows damn well that these are stupid arguments that actually mean nothing. But there we are. Now, I better get started, or otherwise this video is going to be about half an hour long. It might be a bit longer than normal, because it's New Year's Day. What the hell. Let's just, keep on going. So it's a New Year special. Right, so let's just figure out this little bit of an argument that he's going to bring up here. Which, as you can tell from the picture, you know what it's going to be.
NASA shows you this is not a burning ball of hydrogen trillions of miles away.
How do you know that? That image is clearly just the light source. That's not the source of the light. That's just the light coming through the turbulence of Earth's atmosphere.
It's something within the Earth system.
How do you know that? How in, and I'm not religious or anything, but how in God's name does that photograph, that image there, show that? Please explain. How does that what you're looking at there prove that it's in Earth's system? How does it do that?
So you're saying stars aren't that far away?
Oh, here we go.
Oh, here we go, see? And this chap, I think, is the guy who runs this channel. I think. and he's just as moronic as Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, but we'll get into that later. Right, 3826 is the next timestamp that I had on here. Essentially, this 3826. I do miss a fair bit of this because it's just arguments that, in my opinion, mean nothing. 3826 again. Right.
Question. In 2016, NASA goes, look, we got this amazing picture of the northern lights on Jupiter.
Yes, they did.
Does that look fake to you?
No. And I would love to see your evidence to actually supply that that's fake.
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, so hold on. I got you. Maybe that is the northern lights.
Sure.
But in 2014, NASA released this picture. Now, they tell us that they've shown us video of those stripes are different storms and they're going in opposite directions.
Yes.
And that this storm is spinning around and around. You lay these two things over.
And I would like to point out that amateur astronomer photographs of Jupiter actually pretty much look identical to these. So there goes your this isn't real argument completely up in smoke.
Each other, every single ripple and every single cloud is the exact same. So NASA is telling us that these two pictures are taken over 2 years apart, but nothing has changed. That tells you right there, NASA's completely full of shit.
Well, the only thing that shows is that's actually full of shit is your ability to do research. Because if you actually go onto NASA's website, it states what this is and how it was done. This image of the Northern Lights was taken in UV light. It was taken in ultraviolet. So basically all that existed of the image was the Northern Lights bit. They then superimposed it over an older photo of Jupiter. Just go on NASA's website. They explain this shit. It's so easy to find. They don't hide a lot of this stuff from you. What you've done here is assume everything. You've just basically come up with an assumption and just stuck with it without doing any proper research whatsoever. Right? And it's the same old thing with all flat earthers. Right? Same old thing with a lot of flat earthers. Is they keep on bringing up arguments like this, but don't actually, want to do any proper research on it. They're very selective on their research.
Okay, that's the story of gravity. We're even. I've just paid you. Gravity has never been proven.
Oh, yes it has. The sheer amount of experiments that have been done over the centuries that prove gravity and that prove the existence, that the fact that mass attracts mass. Oh my god, that flat earther argument that gravity has never been proven is the biggest thing that's full of shit. Oh my god, it's an oil tanker full of shit. It's unreal. I don't know where they get most of this from. Most of this from where they seem to think that they can make up assumptions like that.
In it with all the moons or whatever the number is, and they never ever tug on each other. How come we're falling around the sun at 93 million miles away? That's literally like a yoga ball and a baseball like a couple miles away. Somehow the yoga ball is holding onto the baseball. It's falling around the sun, and then when the moon, which is falling around the earth, gets in the middle, how come the sun doesn't rip it away, or at least just tug it a little bit?
Well, it kind of does. But not in the way you think, is that the moon is in fact orbiting the sun, but it's doing so as it's orbiting the Earth. It's basically, here's like a sort of concept for you, right? Let's see if I can visualize it. It's essentially you walking round a circle, holding on to a ball, right? So you are Earth, the ball is the moon. But then you basically spin. So basically, yeah, that moon is also travelling round the sun, but it's doing so with the Earth. Again, this is a notion where they actually know nothing. Now, I'm not going to claim that I know much about it either, but to me this shows that they know nothing about orbital mechanics or astronomy in general. You know, essentially it's they assume everything, right? Now, I do apologise, 5625. Basically, there's tons of arguments in here that I just can't be arsed with. Now, here we go. Again, that argument here. Now, this, to me, see, demonstrates the point of the title of the video, is that flat Earth has nothing new.
Photo of Jupiter, of Pluto that NASA took. Does it look
I would
like
have
it has
guessed
the
that.
freaking dog Pluto on it?
No, it doesn't.
No,
That doesn't look like the dog Pluto.
it does not.
That
Look
No, it really doesn't look like the dog Pluto.
doesn't
the
look.
dog Pluto,
That
damn
doesn't
it.
look. That outline doesn't represent Pluto. It doesn't.
No, it really doesn't. Look at what you have to do to it to make it match Pluto. And even then, it's barely even what you call it. Essentially, that to me looks more like a squiff heart. But again, that's meaningless. Right? Basically, people would flat earthers have to put on the eyes, which aren't there, the ears that go all the way up here, which aren't there, the ridge of the nose, the top of the nose, and the mouth, which aren't there. No, it doesn't look like Pluto at all. So how is that? And you do realise that. Oh my god! Like, how is this? Even if that looked slightly like Pluto, how is that even proof of anything? I mean, really. Right? I need to be a bit faster here, otherwise this video's gonna go. But again, see, this shows to me, like, oh, here we go. It's the Blue Marble Project, which I've covered this like so many times.
2012 and 2020 or whatever it was. Do you see a problem here? The United
No, I don't.
States is this big on this one, and it's this big on the other one. These balls.
Well, that one is a composite that was stitched together, and it was done by a satellite that was most likely much closer to Earth at a narrower orbit around the Earth than the others, which is why it looks bigger. It's simple photography, right? And then this one's also a composite.
Have the same diameter, right? This one is
The same diameter. That's irrelevant. These have just been resized for viewing purposes. So they weren't taken at the same distance. These images have just been resized. It's like if you resize a picture of a golf ball to be the same size as a gym exercise ball, you know, the one you sit on. It's meaningless, dude. That's not proof at all.
tilted away. So instead of having the Earth, it's there, it's tilted away. So it actually should be smaller, but it's bigger.
Dave,
right?
you're not convincing me as a layman here because these are pictures. So what you're doing is like
No.
You know what I mean?
These are NASA photos. Okay.
No, they're not. Not even close. NASA has never stated that those are official photos. If you, again, go to NASA's website, they'll most likely explain what this is. But you're not going to do that, are you? You're not going to do that. You know, it's...
These clouds are stepped and repeated. Can you see that?
Can
that
I see
these are
what,
the
buddy?
same clouds?
Okay. Yeah.
Can you see that they're the same clouds?
Okay.
Can you see that? They're
Yeah.
the same clouds?
Yeah.
Now you have to
No, this isn't the famous blue marble shot. The original blue marble shot was done in the 1960s, right, from Apollo 11. Please correct me down the video if I'm incorrect. This is the Blue Marble Project from like 2000, 2002, which there is another side to this. They do have Europe in it as well, and it was created by Composites. Basically, what they wanted was the most complete land topography, right? So they scanned the entire Earth, and it's essentially what Google Maps is and what Google Earth is. It was created to be an interactive model. And the clouds were put in later for meteorological data. Right? Again, NASA never claimed that that was a photo. Again, go to NASA's website. They tell you how this thing was made, and when they did it, how they did it, what the project was for. But of course, again, you're not going to do that, are you? Ever. So again, they're doing this sort of thing. They're bringing up these arguments to a guy that's probably never even heard of flat Earth up until now. Right? That's my problem, is that they never even... 19... I'm getting to the end now. 19... Right. Here's where, in my opinion, right, this is where stuff really verges on proper bullshit that really triggered me. Right, I'm going to let this run, and I'm going to, you see for yourself.
It has no pressure. So they say, if there's a hole in a space station, it'll suck all the air out, right? So this is the shit that they show us. This is them. Do you know that NASA does all of their training in the National Buoyancy Lab? They have a replica of the space station underwater, and they test it.
Well, it's a kind of a replica, but it's not a replica in the same way that you're probably suggesting.
In water. Well, water is trying to get into that suit, and space is trying to suck everything out of that suit. So that's no place to do a test. But this...
No, that's not the type of testing they're doing in the buoyancy labs. They do... they basically do real-time, sort of long-hour testing of spacewalks in water. You know why? It's because water is the closest thing we have to complete weightlessness. Like, if I was able to walk into a vacuum, that doesn't exactly mean that I'm going to be suddenly weightless. That's not how it works. That's not how they test the spacesuits. The spacesuits have probably already been tested inside vacuum chambers, and so on and so forth. The reason why they do it in a pool is because it's the closest thing we have that resembles weightlessness.
This image right here is from the National Buoyancy Lab, and they...
No, it's not. The background is... But the foreground, what you have in the foreground definitely is not. This was a photograph from the ISS that you've essentially photoshopped.
They have rolled down green screens in that pool. Why?
Do they? No, they don't. I've never seen them using green screens in the National Buoyancy Lab. That's something that I think that you've created.
Why would they need green screens in a pool to do training? Okay.
Yeah, you asked me that. Because I really don't think they do.
They have this. Just look up National Buoyancy Lab. There's tons of pictures online. You'll see it. So that there, and then in all the spacewalks, we see bubbles. We see bubbles popping out of their suit.
Yeah, the old bubble argument. Because did you bother to actually look up what else it could have been, or did you just go straight to water bubbles because that's what fits your narrative better? That's what fits your bullshit. And it's... Ooh, it makes me mad. It really does make me mad, right? That flat earthers get away with this bullcrap.
Something up there, but it has nothing to do with people in it. I personally think that light that we see...
It doesn't matter what you personally think.
Is a natural phenomenon, but let's stick with one thing at a time.
Okay,
by the way, do you remember
something.
a couple of years ago when they said a micrometeorite hit and put a hole in the space station?
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yes, I do. Yes.
And Chris Hadfield tweeted, "Hey, here's the hole. Here's the photo of the hole." Right? The astronaut tweeted, "Here's the hole." Okay, that they.
No, and you can see from his tweet, he doesn't actually say that this is the actual hole from the International Space Station at the time. He essentially just uses a known photograph of the micrometeoroid to basically show his point.
Fixed with duct tape and bubble gum. Okay. And this is a photo from a record album from 10 years earlier.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay.
Yeah, the record album is true, yes.
Okay. So NASA is lying. They're mocking us. Now,
no. Again, right? A little bit of research, which didn't take me long, right? This was a photo of a micrometeoroid hole that was basically done on a satellite, so not the ISS, as far as I know. When I looked it up yesterday, that was done back in 2006, right? And then this band used it as their album cover. Again, Chris Hadfield, if you just look at the tweet, doesn't actually state that this photo is the actual one from the International Space Station. He just uses it as a sort of, he just uses it as an example of a micrometeoroid damage. Remember, when this that story broke from the International Space Station, he was most likely not an astronaut at that point, and hadn't been for quite a few years, so he wouldn't have been able to get hold of this anyway. But this is an old photograph. Just look it up. I typed in these details, actually, I think at the bottom, and I found this out myself, on the actual timestamp. Again, research, right? Something about flight paths here, which, just because a flight path might look like it makes more sense on a flat Earth because it's all in straight lines, that means nothing. Because depending on what airline you choose, depending on what sort of connecting flights you get. And the thing is, and people have proven this, there actually are non-stop flights from Australia to South Africa. But because this probably chose some sort of Chinese airlines, what the hell am I talking about? An American airline, it probably had to go to America first, because that's where the airline originated from. And then it went from North America to another airport, then down to South Africa to pick up more passengers. That's how they make money. I mean, it's not that hard. It's not really that hard to understand.
My dad's.
God, this guy's such a prick. Not the scientist, the other guy sitting in the chair.
You'll love my dad. My dad's
Brian,
a fucking best.
I'm sure your dad will
He's
show
like me.
respect.
He's like me. He's basically like
Brian,
Yeah.
you know what's amazing? All worlds are the same. This is Greenland,
Okay.
and this is Mars.
What the fuck, dude?
No, that's not Mars. That was never an official photograph of Mars. Never. That's a photograph of Ireland that a flat earther has photoshopped to look like Mars and popped a little lunar lander thing in the corner. This was never an official image of Mars from NASA. Not even close. Right, I think this is one more, because I got pretty tired of this guy pretty much near the end.
You brought a dune buggy and golf clubs. Would you look like that when you came back at your press conference?
They might be fucking tired. But wait, Dave.
Brian, you are making excuses to preserve your
That's what
worldview.
they landed.
Right, again, way to cherry pick. Deep inside the rabbit hole, right? This is an image, right, that has been deliberately cherry picked by flat earthers. There, if you actually watch the video, that's quite long, right? That's quite long. There's plenty of smiles and laughs during this interview, but that's not the point I'm going to bring up, right? They seem to think that they landed, and about a day later they had the interview, right? Thing is, what flat earthers fail to actually understand is that if they did a little bit of, research, that the three men, right, were in quarantine for 21 days. Quarantine for 21 days. They were probably super excited, to be quite honest with you, and really sort of thing to get back and see their families. And again, this probably wasn't the first interview. They've probably been asked these questions time and time again whilst they were in quarantine. And like I said, they're most likely really tired. But if you actually look at the full video, there's plenty of laughs and smiles, which just shows the cherry-picking bullshittery when flat earthers do their research. They only pick what they want. They only pick what sort of visualizes what they need to lie to people, essentially. Right? Well, that's sort of my sort of mini rant video over. And I hope this sort of shows that Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole talks nothing but shit. and has actually brought up nothing new in the course of many arguments. Nothing new whatsoever. And I do apologise for the low quality of this video, of me like cycling through the video when I timestamp certain things. But the only trouble is that if I wanted to edit this video, it would take me days to put it together. And I quite like doing videos where I do things on the fly. You know what I mean? I quite like doing videos like this. I know some people don't like them, but you know what I mean. You know, I love to hit 1,000 subscribers eventually, just to hit that sort of hallmark. But if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But hey, I'm not touching COVID stuff because it's not worth it. And there's many other YouTubers that actually are far more proficient in those areas of expertise than I am. Because I'm a jack of all trades. I know a lot of stuff I know a fair bit of stuff about a lot of things, but I'm not really an expert. But hey, I hope everyone had a nice new year, and I hope to see you all again. Live jubbly and have a nice day. Don't drink too much now.